Welcome back guys, here. Welcome back to episode number 8 of our Mortal Empire's Beastmen campaign. Steel Faith Overhaul, Grimhammer II Wildwood update, of course. Now something a little bit different for you guys today, because I'm an idiot, and I recorded the first half of this episode without turning my microphone on. I'm doing a voiceover after the fact, so it is what it is, right? I mean, I could have just done nothing and had it all silenced, but whatever. It's what it is. I'm probably not going to talk about the gameplay that's on screen because you can see what's happening and stuff. Basically, the first half of this, we fight these two armies here and absolutely annihilate them because we're amazing. Yes, I'm actually really enjoying this campaign. It's actually quite fun. I really like that horde style of like, oh, I'm almost dead every single point of every single turn, essentially, because, yeah, again, like one loss and your campaign's over. I mean, you might have your second army there available, but they're not quite the same, right? They don't quite stack up the same way your main one does. So what are you going to talk about then? Well, I actually want to talk about the computer and my upgrade path and stuff like that we're looking at. So for those of you who followed me for a wee while will know that I was looking at getting a Ryzen 5 3600 upgrading from my i7 3700, which is now 8 years old. I think that's right. I googled that the other day and I was like, what? Is it that old? Because I think in 2012 it came out. I'll just double check that. While I've got you, while I've got your attention, let me just double check now. 3700 release date was on the April 23rd, 2012. So it's actually in today's April 29th. So it's actually just over 8 years old. Actually, that's the K version. I assume the standard version was the same. Because these usually come out at the same time. Of course they do. So my processor is actually 8 years old. So what I was planning on doing was upgrading to a Ryzen 5 3600. As most of you guys were aware. But Ryzen, I'm sticking with Ryzen for this year because the performance and value for money is just amazing compared to Intel at the moment. Intel still has the slight edge as far as like gaming performance goes, but it's so minuscule the edge that it actually have, and to get the same sort of performance you have to spend so much more money. So I was going to upgrade to, like I say, the Ryzen 5 3600, which came out at the end of last year. But last week or the week before, I think it was last week, Ryzen announced that they're going to release a Ryzen 3 3100 and a 3300X, which is actually a less powerful CPU than the 3600, sorry. So, like, why would I be looking at that then? Because Ryzen are also releasing later on this year, about September at this stage, the Ryzen 4000 series. But I don't want to wait until September because it's still, 6 months away before that actually releases. 6 months? Yeah, something like that. 5 or 6 months before that releases. I want to upgrade before that if I can, because obviously I've got the new graphics card, which is the graphics card that I'm going to put in the new system. I'm still keeping the old system. I'm just going to give it to one of the kids so they can have it. It's fine. It's fine for them to do. I mean, they play Roblox, for God's sake. They don't need a powerful machine. But yeah, so I was thinking, with these new CPUs that are coming out, the 3100 and 3300X, because they're coming out at $85 and $100 US respectively. That's apparently the MSR, the recommended retail price. I could grab one of those and then I could look to upgrade to the 4000 series later on. The 4000 series is going to be the last in the line, apparently, of the AM4 chipset, which the AM4 chipset is basically what Ryzen's been running on this whole time. Then the next series, so I guess the Ryzen 5000 series, is going to be on a new chipset, AM5, I guess, which is going to be DDR5 RAM speed as well for the new boards and stuff like that. So, I mean, I could wait for that, but that's freaking ages away now, like next year-ish type of thing. So yeah, I was thinking if I get a cheaper CPU for like, it's going to be like $200 New Zealand, and then upgrade to Ryzen 4000, so it'll be a 4.6 it will be, I guess, 4600 series, which will be a massive upgrade from this Ryzen 3600. I think that's the way to do it. So basically we'll have a new CPU that runs relative speeds, but then I was looking at some of the early numbers and stuff, because the chips aren't actually out yet with reviewers. They don't come out until the 23rd of May. So not too far away, like 3 weeks away or whatever, 2 or 3 weeks. So it's maybe wait and see exactly what like the numbers are like, because there's also obviously the Ryzen 2600, which is the chipset that I bought for my other child's computer, which is the one that's literally sitting right beside me. So he's running on that one, which is a pretty grunty unit actually as it is. But I assume the price of that one and the price, well, this is the other thing, the price of the Ryzen 5 3600 will also drop when the Ryzen 4000 series comes out. So then it's like, well, do you just wait for that and then buy a Ryzen 3000 series, which is the 3600, when the Ryzen 4000 series comes out? But I think the price, because I'm assuming the price for the Ryzen 4600 is going to be about $400 my price, which is about $250-ish, I think, something like that, American. When it releases, it's going to be the same price as the Ryzen 5 3600 series, but obviously then the price of the Ryzen 5 3600 series is going to drop when the 4000 series comes out. So, but then do you just buy one of those? Ugh. But then, if the Ryzen 3 3100 and the 3300X come out at like $200, which would be my price, New Zealand money, because I think they'll be somewhere around there. They're 100 American, so it's going to be somewhere around about 200 New Zealand, because we always pay a little bit more, a little bit of a premium or whatever on top of it. Do I just spend another $100 and get a Ryzen 100? Because they're about, the Ryzen 5 3600 as of today in New Zealand is about 330 New Zealand dollars. And if the new one that's coming out is going to cost $200, do I spend another $130, so another 30% basically, and get the Ryzen 5 3600 that I was going to get before I kind of learned about the 4000 series coming out later on this year? I mean, it's another 30% increase, but is it a 30% better CPU than the 3300X? I'm looking at the 3300X. I'm not actually looking at the 3100. Because I think the 3100 is just going to be a little bit slow for what I want. The main thing with it, obviously, is being able to record terrible Warhammer at 60 FPS. Because I can record basically every other game with my graphics card, the new graphics card, at 60 FPS, no dramas. It's just Warhammer, because Warhammer is quite CPU intensive. But then a 3600 is going to be way better for Warhammer than a 3300, because the 3300 is going to be, I believe, 4 cores and 8 threads, whereas the 3600 is 6 core, 12 threads, so it's a lot better for games like Warhammer that are CPU intensive. But do I wait for that? Or do I wait to buy one of those? Like, the thing is, if I wait until the 4000 series comes out, I won't want to buy a Ryzen 5 3600 then. Because why wouldn't I just buy the 4000 series? Because, like I say, the 4000 series, I assume, is going to come out somewhere around about 400 New Zealand dollars. About 250 US. And from the early indications, it's going to be somewhere between 10 and 20% faster than the 3000 series. Which makes sense as far as an upgrade path goes. So, for an extra, what's that, 15%? Money-wise, do we get an extra 10%, 15%, 20% extra performance? Yes. And then that's going to last a lot longer than the Ryzen 5 3600. The problem is the Ryzen 5 3600 is such a good chip, but then going along with that same sort of theory, then the Ryzen 4 4600, which I assume is what it's going to be called, is going to be an amazing chip as well. You know? So, yeah, so that brings me back to the point. Do I just buy the Ryzen 3 3300X, which is going to be an upgrade from my current machine? No doubt about it. Do I just buy that now? Because obviously I need to get the other parts, the motherboard, the RAM, all that type of stuff. The only thing I have is the graphics card for the new system at the moment. Oh, sorry, I have the graphics card and I have the case that I'm using. I've got the case, which is a Playtex 400A RGB, black RGB case. So nice, so nice. It's already a little bit more costly than I want to spend on a case. It was only like 200 New Zealand, so it wasn't that bad. Like $100 US or whatever. The reason I got that case is because the thermals on it are really, really good. Like, one of the best thermals you can get for that price. To get anything better, it was like double the price for the cost, for the case. So yeah, I got it for 200. To get a case with better thermals than that one, I had to spend like 400, which is a little bit ridiculous for a case. I'm not going to spend that sort of money on a case. That's kind of silly. Anyway, I digress. So that's all that I've got. So I'd get everything else, and then I'd buy, obviously, the 3300X chip, and then replace that with a That'll be the 4600 Ryzen 5 4600 when it comes out later on this year for an extra $400 or whatever. And then it's like, well, what are you going to do with that chip then? Then I'm kind of thinking, do I then look at getting like a cheaper motherboard or something, you know, cheaper motherboard, cheaper RAM, that type of thing, and replace my existing computer for my other child. I mean, the computer that I built for my kids at Christmas time, which is the one that has the 2600 in it, that's for both of them. It's not for one of them. They both have that. But then, obviously, I could upgrade the machine that I'm using to record this with the 3300X. Because I just need a motherboard and RAM. Obviously, I don't need a graphics card. I can run the GTX 970. That's fine. Like I said, it's more than enough for what they do on it. They just play Roblox and stuff like that. So then I could upgrade I could upgrade my current box with a cheaper motherboard and RAM and stuff like that. And then would all three of us would be running AMD systems with decent specs, essentially. And I think that's what I'm going to do. I think that's a good idea. It's going to be a long, drawn-out process to get to my final build, which won't be until later on, September, October this year. And if it's anything like the 3600 that came out last year, actually being able to get one in the first 2 or 3 months is going to be hard, but that is kind of where my country has a little bit of an advantage, because there's not a lot of like computer geeky type people over this. I mean, there is, but there's not a lot that actually build computers and stuff like that, which is why we pay a little bit of a premium to get parts like that over here. But generally speaking, all that type of stuff is available. Like when there was a big GPU shortage or whatever it was, you know, a couple of years ago when the mining craze was going nuts, getting a graphics card over here was no drama at all. At all. Like there was still ample supply, because we don't have that kind of a techie type people over here. Like I say, we do, but in general, it's not like American. There's friggin' heaps of people that are into it and stuff. There's just a smaller proportion of people are into it. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think it's a good idea? I buy everything I can now, which is pretty much everything else, and then I get a 3300X, which comes out in about 3 weeks. Well, they're released in about 3 weeks. It's going to take longer for them to actually get to my country and stuff like that, but it shouldn't be too long. So maybe in the next month I get there and I can use that for 4 or 5 months or whatever it is, while saving up for the 4600, which is going to come out later on this year. Originally the 4600 was actually going to come out, and I think was going to be announced in May, but because of the coronavirus and stuff like that, it get pushed back. And that's the other thing with coronavirus and all that stuff that's going on around. Who knows? You know, what is the supply going to be like on computer parts and stuff like that heading into this year, start of next year? I mean, my country's in a good position as far as that goes because of the lockdown that we initiated really early. But who knows what the rest of the world's going to be like coming up to the end of this year. I don't know. I don't know for sure. It'll be interesting. And I mean, the other side of that is, of course, money. I'm currently on 80% wages. I assume a lot of people are. A lot of people out of jobs, of course. So then but, you know, well, like I say, we've got another 3 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks before these new chips are even announced. So by the time that happens, my work situation is going to be more clear on whether we're going back to full wages or, do we get fired? Essentially, whatever that is. If I get fired, obviously I'm not upgrading the computer anytime soon. But, yeah, interesting. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think it's a good upgrade path, though? To get the 3300X as soon as I can, so within the next month, get all the other bits, get the computer up and running, which should allow me to record this at 60 FPS, no dramas. Obviously, it's a massive upgrade from what I'm currently running anyway, regardless of what I do. And then buy the 4600 later on this year, or do I just buy the 3600 now, Ryzen 5 3600 now, and then be done with it, and don't buy the 4000 series later on? Because I'm not buying the 3600 and then upgrading the 4600. I'm not doing that. That's just too much money. But I can stretch probably from the Ryzen 3300X up into the Ryzen 5 4600, which is coming out later on this year. Do you think that's the best upgrade path? Or do I just go straight for the Ryzen 5 3600? I'd love to know what you guys think. Obviously, you guys are quite techie as well. Most of you, I would assume. And probably keeping your eyes on this type of situation as well. Anyway, that's going to be me. I'm going to let you guys just watch the last minute or so of this before we go back to the live commentary. Hopefully you enjoyed this rambling for 15 minutes about essentially nothing about upgrading a computer. I find this stuff quite interesting. I don't know if you guys do or not, but hopefully you did. All right, we'll be back into the live gameplay shortly. You know the weird thing? Right, and now we're back with a live recording, you dork. Right, so... he's going to settle that, right? I want to siege this. If I raid that, it literally does nothing. Don't know if I'm far enough away from him. It's a 50-50. It's 4 turns. It's not going to be long enough. Fast enough, sorry. I wonder if I do 1 turn, see if he helps. If he helps, we roll that easy as. If he doesn't help, then we're in trouble. Can I move this guy to the other side? No, sorry. Not you. Him. Thanks. Just get him away from these guys. I don't know if that means he's going to attack us or not. I do have a moon coming in as well. This dude needs to attack, as simple as that. Or come very, very close to it. Is he going to attack because I'm sieging it though? Probably not. Probably not, eh? I think my brightness thingy reset when I changed the recording thing as well. Unfortunately. Let's see what he does. Nah, he hasn't come anywhere near us. I don't know where he went, but not near us anyway. I think we're close enough that the Empire can actually attack us from there. They didn't, though. Where are they? Nowhere to be seen. I kind of don't want to wait 3 more turns for them to start to take damage. My guy's actually replenishing while we're sitting here. What's he got? 2 guns in range, or 3 guns if you count that dude. It's 2 towers, we'll protect 2 of our guys. It's costing us 1600 a turn. This dude raids, but it gets nothing because we're sieging it. But then, of course, we're expected to get money from smashing it, right? I think we get the towers and we go. We don't want to wait 2 turns to start them taking the attrition. I think it's a little bit long, But he still hasn't moved to attack us. So by that reckoning, he's not at peace with this guy because he doesn't care. That would be my understanding, right? Yep, that would make sense. Plus this is also giving him time to send other armies to support, blah, blah. Yeah, we definitely hit this turn. Oh, we just got to Brayherd up. That just tips it massively in our favour. No, I didn't even include the Brayherd. I don't even have to fight it. Nice. I don't like sieges, you guys know that. Deal with it. Yep. Nice. The Brayherd, does that change anything? Not really? How strong's that? That's tiny, man. I say we keep going north. Can you? Well, I mean, you can. 900, Jesus. That's there, not this. This is that, yeah, that's fine. Doesn't say how much it's going to be. It's not going to be worth as much as this, though, right? I don't think so. I think smashing this is a good next option. We do have that Brayherd, so we are actually quite powerful. I will want to raid my way up there to get the replenishment as well. Do you want to grab? We don't have Beast Eagles yet, so it's probably no point. Is Caro? Oh, really? Well, we're not going that way, so... Oh, it's fine. Oh, it's fine. So if we do these other ones, we get all these buffs, right? Jeez, that's miles away. Cursed Jungle's on the other side of the world as well. Recto Gorge, and that's on the other side of the world. Christ, what are those? I think hitting that and then going for either that or that. Based on those garrisons, we'll go for that. We know there's some armies up here, though, that we've got to be a little bit careful of. We do have 18,000 in the bank, though, man. Oh, it's a good Brayherd as well. As long as it doesn't run off and kill itself like the last one did. Get up here, raid. We will replenish a little bit and then continue on. We may even... We're getting a moon right as well, I think so. I think so, I think so. He's blocked my army. He did. No, we're not falling for that trap of going over there with a full garrison already running. Although that will allow me to raid this region, right? Because it's that region then. Well, it depends where the crossover is, I suppose. But I'm liking that $900 raiding. That's only a small little army we've got there too. That's our original army for that one. I haven't actually put anything else in it yet. Should do that, I guess. Because we can get that up to 17 and get another Brayherd as well. That'd be awesome. You didn't block them. What'd you block? Must have been those. How big a garrison? According to this, there's no garrison there at all. Oh, should I hit that then? I should, right? Kills the army. Right, no. How much raiding money? Nothing, really? Right, well, it's minus 10% instead of minus 5%. 20% replenishment rate, though. Yeah, we'll do that. I have a funny feeling he may go that way anyway. Is there a little poke in there? 400, yeah, right. We'll stay where we are then. He's got that already. Go on. That's another 20% from raiding. Wow. No, I can't afford 2 Minotaurs yet. Soon. The Empire may attack us. I'm surprised he didn't. That's cool. The Empire may attack us. No way, right? No way! He made it. He did. He did. Oh, it's still massively in my favour. What? Is that the whole army? That's a different one. Sure. 5 freaking armies, just 6 armies just appear out of nowhere. Sure. Whatever, man. Come on. I don't get my replenishment. That's the bad part. Why did they not push him? Oh, he's hidden. Oh, I didn't go back to raiding? What? He's not hidden, obviously. Well, he was when we got attacked. Yeah. So they could only actually see the Brayhood. Sorry, Brayhood, you did not survive that. Well, oh, dude, I don't even need this other guy. Hell yeah. Ooh, man rippers. Go on in. God, they're so expensive. All my stuff is so expensive. Violence. Ah, are we close enough? How close are these guys? Impossible. I have a funny feeling they can reach us. Well, let's just do that. Try and convince them that attacking me is not a good idea. Don't think they believe me if they've got 6 armies there. $8K, well, ouch. Get some balls. Well, you gotta have that. We want that, yeah, for sure. Weapons? It's not so clear cut on the weapons one. I'm not building, they're so expensive anyway. Piggish. No, we'll just hold off. Do they attack us?
No. Absolutely not.
We've got some pretty healthy units there. Oh, no raiding encamped. Ah. Oh, it's because we changed to that other screen. Ah, it is. Yes, because that's what we did last time then, obviously. Ah, so again, you can only actually see this one army. Bugger. I think we can move far enough away. Yep. Ooh. We're going to have to attack those armies one at a time, lightning striking them. Ha! You're all dead. You're all dead. Can we do it and sustain enough health that we don't get destroyed? I guess that's the question. I guess that is the question. Well, those 3 are dead for sure, man. They're not the full health ones, though. Or do we leave them and just run away? How close are those other armies, I suppose? I'm not sure. He's not that close, and he's taking damage. He is relatively close.
I'll ignore that. Absolutely
I
not.
could definitely kill those three, but it'll put us in a vulnerable position against these two, that's all. Not sure. Alright guys, I think that's where we're going to wrap this episode up. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, remember to hit that like button. It really does help the channel out. Thanks for watching guys, and we will see you next time.